Greetings everyone, I'm out here at sunny Wills Creek, Ohio. I wanted to show you what I come up with for removing these grill cylinder, the propane valves. I came up with two different ways. Like most of my tinkering, I end up making something, then I'll maybe improve on it after I see how the first one worked. And that's kind of what happened here. So anyway, firstly, I had a couple of these, and if you're going to be doing this kind of thing, these are just off of junked grills. Here's the old style, and of course that goes counterclockwise. It'll work with, these are both examples of the newer type valve with the triangular handle, and that's pretty much what been that way for quite a few years now. That's reverse threaded. It'll go into the old ones and the new ones. So if you get an old tank and you're going to do this, make sure it doesn't have any pressure in it, obviously. And then, of course, here's a nice newer kind, which they thread on normally, righty-tighty. Nice big coarse threads that go on quick. But do the same thing. Make sure, obviously, that you don't have pressure. So the first one I come up with, make sure this is a half drive deep well socket, and I just simply cut out some notches. It is a 1 1/16. This one I had laying around, and with this one you have to get rid of the valve handle. So, and it does work. And if you get a really old tank, make sure, like I said, there's no pressure in it. Close it back off. If you have to, you can run a little heat right around the valve. I had a really hard stuck one. It's a really old tank. 25 plus years it's been sitting out in the weather with the bottom cut off. I used it as a target. That thing was stuck. So I applied maybe 45 seconds on one side, 45 on the other side. You don't have to get it cherry red. It doesn't have to be smoking. But you wouldn't believe how much that helps. So I'll demonstrate this first one. Pretty easy. Just like that. And it works really well, but you have to take the, like I said, the top of the valve off the handle. So then I come up with this one, as I will do when I'm tinkering. I found in my scrap pile, I didn't even realize I had it. I just happened to spy it, and I thought, well, wait a minute here. That's a 2-inch inside diameter, just an old piece of pipe. I think I cut that out of here for some reason. I think it used to be an underground oil tank, and it was sticking up. Anyway, I've had this thing here laying around probably 10 plus years, and I just simply welded a half drive socket on it. You could use practically any size. I just another one out of my scrap pile of sockets I'll never use. I just welded that puppy dog on there. So what I simply did is, as with that other socket, I used an angle grinder, cut out my initial notch, and I made sure purposely it was a little tight. Made a cut there and bend it out. Same thing here. And the reason I made sure it wouldn't quite go on, that way I could tweak it and just grind off a little at a time until it fit good. Because you want it fairly snug so there's not a lot of bouncing around. But this one, this is my one I'll be using if I ever do this again. This one is made to go right over the valve. Boom. Of course, I'm not going to take this one off. it's a full tank. So that way I don't even have to mess with that now. So I've got it down to an art. And I sometimes use these tanks to make little mini fire pits. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with everybody, maybe give them an idea, or maybe you want to make something like that yourself should you run into needing to take one of those off. I mean, they're pretty tight, but that, with the impact, you don't have to worry about holding the tank steady. You can try to get a wrench in there. You can cut this off if you don't think you're going to need it when you go to make something out of the tank. And then you get big old pipe wrench or a crescent wrench here. But you have to hold the tank still, you know. But with the impact, what I like about that, you don't have to do it. It hammers it off, no problem. So anyhow, I hope you found this interesting and maybe even helpful. And keep on tinkering.